Serge is in the sideline yelling, "You see it? You see it? You see it?" I'm like, "Yeah, you see it, you see it." And so I'm like, "All right, yo, it's up. It's up from here."
This episode is brought to you by the good people at Prestige TV. You see it, and once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Good people, welcome back to the Basketball Society podcast. I'm excited to have the next guest on the show. This is the first guest of this year. I am excited to have my brother, Mr. Kyle Adams, otherwise known as Prestige TV, on the podcast. What's up, bro? Welcome to the show, man.
Man, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be with you, my guy. I got to give you your flowers on your show. Like, Basketball Society, Holistic Hooper, Martin Sories, we need so many more of these people out here in this basketball world, man, because like if you're not tapped in mentally, spiritually, physically as a basketball player, it's so hard to be successful. So I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to get into it, man. I can't wait.
I want to start by saying this, bro. I specifically remember not liking your videos when I first met you. when I first seen the Prestige TV, the glitch little opening joint, I remember pulling up to RC because I started out doing high school content kind of around the time you did. I was filling out the scene as bro, I specifically remember seeing your logo on the video and thinking like,
bro, I was whack. I was so whack.
I mean, most of us were when we started, though. So it's like, it's common.
A local kid with the camera in Plainfield, New Jersey. I went to Roselle Catholic in the summertime with Jesse Jones, Filet. I walked in that gym. Khalil Whitney, McDonald's All-American. Josh Pierre-Louis, just won the Big West Championship. Nate Pierre-Louis, NBA G League. Miles Powell, like Isaiah Briscoe, Chris Silva, Nas Reed. And this is my first day. First day in Roselle Catholic. I'm like, okay, this is a different league, but we're just gonna jump right in. So to know that you weren't messing with my videos, it just tells me like, okay, I'm glad we're all on the same page here.
What is your connection to basketball, bro? Because you were an artist before, like you draw, for people who don't know. This dude draws beautiful portraits and all kind. He gets commissioned for family portrait and all. I mean, bro, I don't understand it. But were you an artist? Were you doing that before you got into basketball videos and stuff?
When I tell you my love for basketball has grown so much, when I tell you just over the past 2 years, I fell in love with basketball. I was not in love with basketball a few years ago, bro. Like this is kind of just like, I wouldn't say coincidence because everything is in divine order, but I did not love basketball like I love basketball until about a couple years ago. But the way I started, it was as simple as this. I was at a family cookout, 2015. I was a seventh grade. Started taking pictures of my family and friends and stuff. I love the feeling of people posing for pictures. I love the feeling of getting, just creating something, that'll last forever. And I was 7th grade. I was trying to make a couple bucks. I was like, I got that entrepreneurial spirit. I was like, I'll go out and make me a business out of this, Kid you not. I don't know how the name Prestige came to me, but it was Prestige Photography. That's 2015 Prestige Photography. Anybody knows me back then from Plainfield, they saw that logo and it was with the camera in the middle, like Prestige Photography. That's what I was. I was just around taking pictures, photo shoots, Sweet 16s, basketball, football. Actually, my first sport was football. Like I did football for Plainfield, and so September, October, I did a football game for Plainfield, and one of my guys, he's the reason I started Prestige. Jalil Simmons, Plainfield basketball. He was, a highly recruited basketball player. I recorded his senior year in Plainfield. I was terrible, but like the essence of the moments that I was catching, like I think when I knew this was for me, like I was, just doing highlights and stuff all season. But at the end of the season, these guys have played together their whole lives. They've grown up together, and this is their last time playing together. They're all gonna go to college. I made a video of them all crying together, like after the game, and it evoked so much emotion within that community that everybody was like, okay, no matter how like terrible this quality is, this kid gets it. Jesse Jones, other than Jalil Simmons, who really got me started with basketball, Jesse Jones, Filet, he, like, I stamp him as the person who really got Prestige, like, going for real. Because this is back when Jesse had, like, 200K. When I was just, like, when, you know, like, cold calling, when you're just calling people trying to sell stuff, I was hitting DMs. I was like, yo, let's film. He hit me back. This is before he had the blue check, everything. He was like, yo, let's do it. So I meet him, real down-to-earth dude. We do an interview, terrible lighting, terrible audio. Like, his story was great, but terrible lighting, terrible video, terrible composition. But, it's just a place to start. Like, at that time, it was just, I wasn't on anything. So he was like, yo, I'm working out today, pull up. I was like, all right, bet we out. Go to Roselle Catholic. He had an open run with Miles Powell, Chris Silva, Isaiah Briscoe, Nas Reed, Khalil Whitney, Josh Pierre-Louis, Nate Pierre-Louis, Alonzo Frank. I'm like, alright, yo, I filmed basketball before, but like, this is crazy. Like, so once again, I made a terrible mixtape, threw it on the page, and I was like, you know what, we outside. Forget it. We outside. So Jesse really, like, getting me started, introducing me to that crowd. And from then on, like, me and Josh became good friends. And he told me, yo, come film with us this season. And that's when I locked in with Roselle Catholic. It was the 2017-2018 season. Nas Reed, senior year. Khalil Whitney junior year. TOC year. I literally went from playing field basketball. Like, we weren't that good. Like, we got eliminated first round to, like, North Hunterdon or something that year. To go TOC, undefeated year. Only loss we had in state was to RJ Barrett at Kane. Still breaks my heart to this day. But yo, to go from that to a place that takes you in as like just a young creative. Like they didn't see me as more than a young creative. When I tell you like freshman, I call it my freshman year, but I was junior in high school. None of those guys posted my videos except Khalil and Josh. And that's why those are, like, still, like, my brothers to this day. Because they, like, out of all the people, you had The Unguarded out. You had NJ Hoop Recruit. You had Overtime Tay. You had all these guys, Hoop Major. You had all these guys out here making flicks. And I'm just here, just a local, you know what I'm saying? Khalil and Josh, that's why they forever going to be my brothers. Because when nobody else was posting my videos, they were posting my videos. And that's, like, to have a place where you can go and just know you're appreciated and know your craft is appreciated, know your patience, your time is appreciated. There's no feeling like that in the world.
Tell me how you got better at creating videos. What were some of the things that had to happen for you to get better from that first video with Filet to where you are now? I mean, what were some of the main things that you had to pick up or that you had to learn that you feel like got you better?
It's got to be the storytelling and the essence. Like, capturing the essence of the moment is so important. Like, the guys that I'm mentoring now, like Nick and Kenny, I always tell them, there's 15 videographers here that are here to make highlights. Do you want to make highlights or do you want to make history? You have to capture the moment in a way that people will remember the essence of that moment. Like, I'm thinking about times where we won games off of a buzzer beater. We won games off of like a last second shot or something like that. Everybody's going to post that shot. But how are you going to post that shot so that we feel the moment?
Give me one example. Give me an example. The game winner or something. Give me what's your thought process? How do you do it?
Music is definitely a huge part of it. Like when you think of Prestige, you don't think of Prestige without music, bro. Like the music selection is definitely number one for me because rarely do I make videos without music. So the music is definitely one music choice. Second is the composition of the shots. Like you can give 3 people my camera, which is a high level cinema camera, and they're gonna give you 3 different shots. But which shot is gonna show the triumph or the hard work that went into that moment? You know what I mean? There's so many people that can set up a video camera on a tripod and just record something. It has no essence. Like it might as well be a live stream broadcast. But if you can get in it, you can see the sweat on their face. You can see that look like, yo, I gotta keep pushing. Like, those are the moments that people want to see. But it's also knowing who to film and when. Because everybody wants to shoot the best guy on the court. Everybody wants to shoot, the guy that's getting the most attention, getting the most buckets. But some of your most powerful shots come from that kid on the end of the bench who's not getting any playing time. Or come from that kid who's played the entire game and is tired as hell, who's bent over like, yo, we gotta keep pushing. Or it comes from the coach who's like in a situation where he doesn't know what to do, and you're capturing that, bro. It's like, I guess I'm trained now to the point where I can just see like different things happening, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that's the shot. But it's hard to just tell people, yeah, shoot that, unless I'm in the moment and I'm like, yo, shoot that right there, shoot that right there. Like when I'm with Kenny and Nick on the court, I'm like, yo, make sure you get this shot here, this shot that there. But other than that, I just let it come naturally, because that's how it came for me.
You film so much basketball, you're really in that artistic pocket where the way you talk about it, it's like anyone who's watching, who's listening, they can feel that, they understand now. Just tell me, what is it about filming basketball? You started with football. I didn't know that. So what is it for you? Detail. What are the moments? What are the shots? What is it about the game?
I grew up around, like, I have one older brother, blood brother. He's into basketball, but I grew up around a lot of older, I call them my older brothers, like cousins and god brothers stuff. They're all into basketball, like into it. I was never that kid that was really into basketball like that growing up. I was in the corner drawing or something, watching WWE or something like that. But when it came to filming basketball, I was like, okay, this is my lane, bro. Like, I was never that kid growing up. Like, I played like rec league and stuff. I wasn't that good, but filming basketball, I was like, okay, I found my lane. Like, my brother, he's big into like analytics and broadcasting and stuff. My other god brother, he was into playing basketball. So everybody had their kind of their own lane in basketball. So I guess it was bestowed upon me, like, yeah, you'll find it eventually, but we're not really expecting you to find it in basketball. So I was like, you know what, alright, watch this. So once I got into filming basketball and I was good at it, I was like, yo, I found it.
I got it. I'm here. I'm lit.
What's up? So, like, that's just like the personal aspect of it, but yo, just growing and making the relationships. Like, for me, it's all in the relationships. If I didn't become best friends with Josh, if I didn't become best friends with Khalil, if I didn't experience that TOC season with Roselle Catholic, I don't know if I would have been into basketball as much as I am now. Because I'll tell you, Roselle Catholic, I owe them everything when it comes to me and basketball. Because without Roselle Catholic, I would not have fallen in love with basketball. I think about all the relationships I've made through basketball, yo. My whole life would be totally different if I never found basketball, bro. And it happened so naturally to the point where it was like, yo, this is divine intervention. Because there's no way me, Simeon Wilcher, CJ Wilcher, Jamarcus Lawrence, Josh Pierre-Louis, Nate Pierre-Louis all live within a 10-minute radius of each other. There's no way that happens without that being like, it was written, yo. There's no way my first basketball game ever filmed was Plainfield versus Roselle Catholic. And I end up with Roselle Catholic, a part of that family. It's divine intervention, yo. So the relationship is what made basketball really grow into like a love for me. But as I've progressed in that world, I just love basketball. I love watching basketball. I love playing basketball. I love everything about basketball. And I'll admit it, like when I'm having these debates with some of these pros, I'm like, look, disclaimer, I'm not the highest basketball IQ guy in the world, but I know EQ. Like, I know emotional intelligence. You know what I mean? And that's just as important as basketball IQ. So that's like when I'm like coaching up these guys at Roselle Catholic, I don't tell them what sets to run. I don't tell them what workouts to do. I tell them how to stay locked in on the court emotionally, mentally, spiritually. That's me doing my part.
Yo. For anybody who makes basketball videos, mixtapes, mixes, whatever you want to call them, I want to publicly make it known that Kyle had the mix of the year in 2022. You know what mix I'm talking about.
Of course.
Of course you do, because when you make the mix of the year, you know you made the mix of the year, and you know what mix I'm talking about. Bro, like, yo, when I hear, it's not even the song, because I never heard that song before. I don't know who the artist is. I've never heard of that. I don't know anything about that song, bro. Bro, like, I feel like I need Sim's hair so I can, like, I need to, yo, brother, look. Yo, what? How do you just sit there and just cook that up? Like, I've cooked stuff up and I'm sitting there like, yo, and I gotta step away, but like, dog, that joint would like raise my blood pressure. I would be like, I wouldn't even be able to finish. I'd just be sitting there like, that show would be too crazy for me.
I don't know what was on their mind, but they were blasting music that day in the locker room. I'm like, they don't usually blast music all the time. Like, it must be something special. I was like, all right, y'all in y'all mode today, huh? And I was like, so they start playing this song in the locker room. I was like, y'all, this beat kind of go crazy. Wait a minute. Like, I look at Sim, yo, he's locked in. Like, he's locked in. I don't care if he's no judge me. I'm trying to make these happen. Yo, he's going. I'm like, all right, yo, this is hard. Like, I'm just filming, right? And then I hit him after. I was like, yo, send me that song you was bumping in the locker room today. Yo, I might put that on a mix or something, right? I made that mix like it was just another mix. And then after the fact, after I finished the mix, I was like, yo, this is kind of crazy. This guy. Like, this is kind of crazy. Especially now, that mix has grown so much because the lyrics literally say, I don't care if these people don't jack me. I'm not trying to make these people happy. Like, think about, like, Sim's year this year. Like, not getting selected All-American. Like, he's just hooping, bro. Yeah. He's just hooping. He ain't trying to make y'all happy. He just hooping. He's trying to get better. He knows what the goal is. And so that mix is definitely going to be, like, all time just because of how hot it was when it dropped, the highlights that he was getting, because he was really going crazy in that mix.
Well, I mean, the connection between the music and the highlight and the game, the film, has to align too.
And that's really the essence of Prestige. If I can get a song, if I can get music that matches the essence of that game, like that's really all it is. Like, in its simplest form, Prestige is mixing music and basketball in a way that nobody else can. Like, if I were to break it down as simple as possible for somebody that has no idea what a mixtape is, has no idea what, like, that culture is about, I'm like, yo, I make films, I mix basketball and music and make it hot.
What's your favorite part of shooting the game? When you pull up to a workout or a game or anything, what's your favorite shot of basketball? I mean, what's your favorite part of filming basketball?
There's not many people that get to go back and look and say, wow, I really have an entire timeline, behind the scenes footage, on court footage, storytelling of my time playing high school basketball. So being able to provide that for these guys is big for me. And just them to see their progression. Like, you know, when I'm sitting down chopping up film with Christian and stuff like that, just seeing him like point things out in his game, like, oh, I could do that better, oh, I could do this better. But then, like, just experiencing different things outside of Roselle Catholic, like Jaden Collins, Cameron Paget, yo, like these guys, just being cool with them off the court and just learning about their lives and just being a part of that journey. Like, even if it's a small part, like, you mainly take care of Jaden and Cam, but when I come around, it's special because you know that, like, it's creatives and it's athletes coming together to create, like, a memory or an experience that's going to last forever, and you know they appreciate it. Like, if you know anything about me, I don't film that many people because I really try to only film people in basketball that will get it and will experience it in a way that they'll appreciate. Like, I never want to film somebody where they look at it like, oh, yeah, that's cool, and just never look at it again.
I'm glad you brought that up because everything you've been talking about really speaks to, I did an episode talking about when Austin Rivers said highlight culture is killing the game of basketball. That's why I love people like you, and that's why I need to have people like you on the show to really speak on it, because there's a whole nother side to this media culture that is way deeper than just basketball or highlights, and you spoke to so much of it right there. It is a good thing that we have more cameras, more media, more exposure, more highlights for people that otherwise wouldn't have had them. That's a good thing, bro. The basketball culture, that's a big reason why the basketball culture is the way it is and why it's flourished and evolved.
That's why I love what you do, and I love like the things that we're doing together, because it's one thing to have that film and it just be film. But for us, we're using it as education, we're using it as experience. And if you can use media is the most powerful entity in the world. And we can make an entire another podcast episode about how powerful media is, and the fact that we're using our media for good. It shouldn't be taken for granted. But there's so many ways you can use this media thing. And so I love pages like Basketball Society. I love pages like Holistic Hooper, because we need so many more of those. And it's so hard to get traction and views for stuff like that, because it's not trendy, but it's useful. It's so much more useful than seeing like the same dunks over and over and again. It'll come along, because I think in the last few years the media landscape has really been going through a renaissance, and that's why I started one of my other brands, Be the Renaissance. So it's gonna come along.
Hey, where did you see it come from? Because as you know, once you see it, you can't unsee it, baby. You can't, bro. That joint is so fire, bro. Like ever since I saw it, It's like you see it, like damn, I do see it.
So I'll give you a backstory. Khalil Whitney, right? We're in Miami. He's doing pre-draft. It was just a random day in the gym, bro. I'm just filming him. He hits this crazy dunk. I'm like, yeah, you see it. And I was like, you see it. I just kept saying it over and over and over again. You could ask him. Like, we get back to the crib, I'm going through the film. I'm like, you see it. I was like, yo, I'm putting this on a video. Because at that time, I just got the Sony, brand new Sony. I'm trying to rebrand a little bit, right? But I'm missing something. I'm like, yo, I got it. I got it down. I got the new camera. I got the editing. I'm finally at the point where I can scale this thing, because the first few years I'm still figuring it out. I'm like, all right, I got all the tools now. I need something to tie it together. You know what I mean? You look at NJ Hooper Crew, and I'm just basing my stuff based off the people who are my OGs, like the people I've looked at. You gotta look at NJ Hooper Crew. He's got Basketball Needs New Jersey, Jersey Guards Different. Like, he's got these different sayings that people know him by. Like, you look at 8i Media, he's like, don't overthink it. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, I'm missing that one little slogan that's going to take me, set me apart. I'm like, yo, I'm putting You See It on this video. And I never thought of it as like, I'm taking You See It to the moon from here. Like, yo, I'm just trying to separate myself. I'm trying something new. I'm putting You See It on it, right? I put it right at the end. And like, he was like, yo, I don't know what it was, just the timing of it in the video. He was like, yo, that's different. Yeah, it's hard. And so I'm out there with him, JT Thor, who's on the Hornets now, Trey Mann, who's going to be one of the best guards in the NBA. Stamp it right now. I'm telling you right now. You see it. Trey Mann is going to be another Darius Garland. Give him a few years. Promise you that. I put it on his video. So that's 3 Romeo Weems, Memphis Hustle. I put it on those 4 straight videos. And these are all pros that I've never dealt with before in my life. So I'm sprinting it out now. So I'm like, all right, that's 4 different pros that I got You See It on. I'm taking this back to Jersey. And so Summer League, Jamarcus Lawrence, Simeon Wiltshire, first mix with them. Because I haven't touched these guys since the pandemic. Like, this is my first Sim mix. This is my first Jamar mix. We in the Summer League. I put it on the mix. Serge is in the sideline yelling, you see it, you see it, you see it. I'm like, yeah, you see it, you see it. And so I'm like, all right, yo, it's up. It's up from here. Like, that gave me You See It gave me the confidence I needed to take Prestige to the next level. Because I kid you not, I was thinking about just shutting it all down and just focusing straight on art. I was like, Prestige is taking me as far as I wanted to take me. I've accomplished a lot of things I wanted to accomplish. It's time to just focus on art. But You See It opened up a whole different lane, because it's my entire essence. You know what I mean? It's like, either you see it or you don't see it. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Like, it's something different in there. It's the culture. It's so simple. And at first, all my guys was clowning me. They was like, that's corny. I was like, all right, watch. Just watch. Watch what I do with it, though. Watch what I do with it. And then last year, the TOC run with Roselle Catholic, that's what solidified it. Because I was using UC on every video. And it's like, this is just a testament to, if you do something enough, people are going to realize, catch on. I mean, I put it on every video. Every video. I didn't miss. You see it on every video. It was a new stamp. And so once they won the TOC last year, I showed up to the TOC with a box of UC shirts and hoodies. After we won the TOC, everybody had UC on their chest. I was like, yeah, bro, it's up. It's up. Like, this is the new Just Do It. It's still so early. Like, it's still in its genesis. People have no idea. Like, as many hoodies and shirts as I put out, as many videos that I put out with UC on it, as many times as you see it everywhere, it's still just beginning. So I'm excited to see where it goes.
Why do you feel society needs basketball?
Hip hop and basketball are two meccas. That's why slam was so successful, because they combined both basketball and hip hop. But basketball is such, for African American kids, for everybody, but specifically African American kids, basketball is something you can't get away from, bro. The community of it, the joy that it brings people, it changes lives. Like, you can grow up poor for 16, 17 years, and if you apply yourself enough at basketball, you can change the trajectory of your entire bloodline from playing basketball. There's not many different things that people can apply that to on a large enough scale as basketball that can have that life-changing effect. The platforms that it's built. Like, you got guys that are using their platforms like Kyrie, like LeBron, like CJ McCollum, like Nate Pierre-Louis. Nate Pierre-Louis is a guy who's still not even like close to his peak, but he's using his platform to spread like the word of God like no other. And that's why I have to respect him. Like, even if you're not a Christian, even if you're not, like, he's taking something he loves and he's using basketball and like the esteem that he's gotten from that, and he's pushing something that he loves and lives by. Same as me. I'm pushing art and creativity through basketball. You're pushing holistic health. You're pushing spiritual, mental, physical health through basketball. It's such a vessel for us that, like, there's nothing other than hip hop that I can compare it to in terms of the influence that it has on people and the power that it has behind it. So basketball, like, no matter what I do, if I never film basketball ever again, I have to be attached to basketball. It's hard to even put in words, like, the experiences and the emotions that you feel, like, even being at a basketball game at a young age. Like, you don't know what you're feeling, but you're feeling something special, bro. It's like, it's almost the equivalent of being in church. Like, you're in, like, people don't realize, like, how, like, much of, like, the history of black people and black music comes from black church. So when you go to black church, you feel that spirit in you. Same thing with basketball, bro. You feel the energy of the crowd. You feel the passion of the players. You feel the pressure of the coaches.
It's like when that Holy Spirit. It's like when they start rumming them drums out. It's like,
bro, no matter how mad I get at America, bro, when I listen to the national anthem before a basketball game, come on, bro. And there's plenty of times where America's pissed me off.
I didn't really know where you were going with that. That is crazy.
It's like, yo, let's go. Like, I'm ready to go. I'm filming and I'm ready to lace up. I can't think of a better vessel for me to pour out all of my creativity or to, like, basketball is it for me, Like, people have asked me, oh, why don't you do music videos? Or why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? I'm like, yo, basketball is hit on every single level for me that I needed to up until now. Because I graduated and I have so much time and I've, like, seen so many things that I want to do so much more other stuff now. But until now, in my adolescence, basketball, it did everything for me. And I'm not the best basketball player. I'm not the most high IQ basketball player. Everybody's like, oh man, if I was 6'8", I'd be in the league. I was like, okay, you're 5'11", so what are you gonna do with it? Like, you know what I mean? You're 5'8", what are you gonna do with it? You know what I mean? So it's not about how good you are at the game. It's not about how much of a high basketball IQ you have. It's not who you know. It's how can you take the game and use it to benefit others and benefit yourself.
That's love, bro. Man, Kyle, Prestige TV, you see it. I know you see it. I know you see it. You see it too. I was like, you don't see it.
You cannot see it.
Thanks for watching this episode of the Basketball Society podcast. For more basketball content, breakdowns, interviews, and episodes of the show, subscribe to Basketball Society and stay tapped in.